Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to do an unboxing of this game right here, Pacific Tide. And this is the second edition. I just got this the other day from Compass Games. Gregory M. Smith is the designer on this. And let's go ahead and open this up. Now this is a kind of a thin box. I would say this may be a 1-inch box, so it's a relatively thin box, but it does have some heft to it. And one of the things I'm gonna talk about, which is kind of weird, I know, but the box almost has a linen finish to it. It sort of has a texture to it, and it just looks like almost like a linen fabric. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, let's open up and see what we got inside. All right, so again, you've heard me talk about the box, but I do like the finish. The box is kind of a thick box, so it's a good quality cardstock on that thing, and that thing should last for a while. Okay, so on the back of the box here, it sort of shows us the map, which is kind of a small map, the action cards here that you have in there, and all of the pieces that you're going to use in the game here. Pacific Tide is a strategy level game featuring operation and event tactical nuances, as players must decide when and how to commit their carrier forces, land-based, air, and even their intelligent assets. To a degree, the Japanese player is racing against the clock. The quality of his pilots degrade over time, and starting in 1943, he also loses the strategic initiative to undertake initial actions. The U.S. player is also fighting against the clock and cannot sit back and take a relaxed approach in defeating Japan. So complexity is 3 out of 10. I would agree with that. Not much in the way of rules. Time scale, single year turns with alternating multi-card play. Map scale, area map. Unit scale, individual carriers or carrier groups. Fleet, army level infantry, air groups. Number of players, 1 to 2, best being 2. Solitary suitability has an 8 out of 10, so that's actually pretty high. I thought it was kind of low, but with that solitaire bot, it does move it up some. Average time to play, 2 to 4 hours. Recommended age, 14. I barely make that, momentally anyway. Components, 1 mountain map, 1 counter sheet, 51 game cards, 2 player aid cards, rule booklet, 16 6-sided dice, so 8 for each side. Let's take a look inside. Should last for a while. Open it up. First thing we notice here is that we have a good amount of bags, which is nice if that's what you use. And we have some cards here, which I will open up in a little bit. We'll take some gander at those things. And we have dice here. It looks like 2, 4, 6, 8 dice on each, blue and red. So that's kind of nice. And we have Pacific Tide, the United States. Now this is flipped over. I did actually start reading this, so I have to, tell you I did actually read this a little bit. Rules of play, second edition, and not very many instructions in here. Actually, it's pretty nice. It has a lot of diagrams, and it's 13 pages. Designer notes is that, so 12 pages really. Get on over to here. Yep, so 12 pages of instructions, and we open up, and the first page talks about the card play, the cards, all of your counters, reading your counters, setting up the game, here where everything goes, and all the setups are right here. Bidding, gameplay, so you do bid on which side you want to play, and so that's kind of cool. Sort of what we do, the same thing that we do in Victory in the Pacific. And for those of you who have been watching my channel, you see that I've been doing a lot of game on Victory Pacific, and I do like that game, so I'm looking forward to this one also. I hope this one is just as much fun as that game. So, attack matrix here. Example of play. Like I said, there are a lot of good examples of play here, and you just basically take over areas. You can go 2 areas on some, 1 on other things. Some of them can only attack when they're right next to each other. Placing units, repair of fleet, so you can get your fleet repaired. The cards are an interesting aspect to this, which adds a bit of unknown, which is why this rate's so low on the solitaire scale. And game credit again, Gregory M. Smith is the designer. Artist Iliad Karatis. Sorry, I'm upside down. Game designer Gregory M. Smith. And then here it shows your counters layout, so we'll see them here in a minute. Put this on over here. And we have 2 solitaire aid cards. Now this game can be played solitaire. It sort of has a bot to read for your cards here, but it's better played. It even says it's better played with 2 players. Now I saw somebody laugh. They said, well, why do you need 2 solitaire aid cards? Well, it's not so much that. It's the player aid card that are on the other side, which if you have 2 players, we have sequence of play, summary of key points, attack limitation, reminders, retreat after combat. So I think that you'd be using this if both players were playing, they'd definitely be looking at that. So put this off to the side. And then finally, we have a very nicely mounted map in here, which we will get to in a sec. And the last thing in our box here is our counters. Some nicely done counters too, by the way. Really liking the way these counters are done. And again, they have a little bit, I don't want to say a texture, but they have like a satin finish on them. And of course, we have the blue and red counters there. And we have some aircraft carriers, ships, and then aircraft land-based units, it looks like right here. Infantry units down here, up here. On the back, we do have some double-sided pieces, like when this one's flipped over, I believe they're in a improved, when this flipped over, they're in an improved position here. Same way down here, so they're a little tougher to defeat rather than in this side here. It's really some nice counters in this game. They look good. All right, so let's take a look at the cards. Let me open up the cards. All right, so we have some American cards or Allied cards and Imperial Japanese Navy cards here. And then we have some game cards here. So there's Imperial Japanese still. Right here, here's Japanese player first. And the backside, not 100% sure, I didn't read through everything. The special Pearl Harbor attack on the back here. Make sure you don't have any glare on that. So, but each player gets so many cards in their hand, and they get to play them, and they have to go by the dates on the cards too. So we have dates down at the bottom here. So you can only play them during that year. Yeah, let's look at the map board. Okay, so a nice small footprint on this. This is nice. You have the current year here. It sits relatively flat. I mean, it's a little bow, but not much at all. I mean, well, it's already got rid of that bow here. So sits nice and flat. Again, it's sort of a textured finish on it, which I noticed that all these companies are starting to go with. Let me get this centered perfect here for you. There you go. Okay, so here's our map. It's kind of a small footprint here. Up at the top, we got Pacific Tides, United States versus Japan, 1941 to 45. Game designer Gregory Smith. Second edition, solitaire personnel. So you put that there when you're playing the solitaire. It tells you whether it's a aggressive or neutral attacking personality. So you can change that up as you play, and you get better. You can sort of make that harder and harder, sort of like levels on video games. You got the attack matrix here as to how many dies each one of these gets. Naval air, 1 or 2 die versus naval and air. So it tells you how many dies you get to roll for each one. Current year that you're on, and we play by year here. Down here it shows the board. Down here it shows what these icons mean on the board here. For example, this is a neutral, so nobody owns this particular, or nobody has control over this. Over in Truck, the Imperial Japanese Navy has control of that. Marianas, Iwo Jima. Wake, United States, Midway. Hawaii, Pacific. And then we got the West Coast. We got 2 West Coast here, which they come into the game when you're adding reinforcements. If you don't have enough room, they end up coming up in over here. Indonesia, then we have the British over here, Australian down here, control. Brisbane. So it's really a nice little map that could easily be played on a coffee table or a dining room table, or just about any table. Really, this could easily be, this game could be played on. So I like the map, like it a lot. So that was a quick unboxing. I know it was fast. I didn't want to spend too much time. I'm sure you've seen plenty of unboxing videos. You just wanted to know what was inside here. And that was my goal, was to show you that. I will, of course, probably make a custom holder for this. This is kind of a small box. All of these will get covered. That's the first thing I will do, is cover those so that they're protected. And clip all the counters, and maybe make something on a 3D printer to hold everything in here nice and neat. Or just use the bags, I'm not sure yet. But that was my quick and fast review of Pacific Tides, United States versus Japan, 1941 to 45. Second edition. Like I said, I just got this from Compass Games. Really looking forward to playing it. Appreciate you watching. Please do like and subscribe. And hopefully you're around for my next video. Thanks again.